Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, Immortal Hulk issue number 45. As should be expected, another amazing issue. But this issue is so amazing, I'm going to have to get into one of those spoiler warnings towards the end of the video. I will warn you long in advance, but I'm going to have to talk about the end of this book at the end of this video because, wow, it's a doozy. Let's get talking about and it's so funny because so much of what happens at the end of each of these issues is a doozy, is it not? Let's get talking about who made this comic book. We'll work on from there. This issue is called Ready or Not. Al Ewing is the writer, Joe Bennett on pencils, Roy Jose and Bellardino Bravo on inks, Paul Mounts on colors, VC's Corby T doing the letters, Alex Ross doing the cover and a whole bunch of variant covers. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created the Hulk, and we should give a little credit to Peter David too, because look at all that he did with the Hulk. I love the different locations that are used in here. You got New Jersey at one point. We start off in Staten Island. We got the place below all. We got a whole bunch of different things here. But you guys remember there were a few people who, when the Red Door appeared much earlier, there were a few people in the comment section saying, no, this is not the Red Door. That's not what it is. You're seeing it wrong, or, it just looks like that or whatever. Confirmation, this is the Red Door. It's no disrespect. It's just, it made perfect sense that that's what would have happened here. The only other thing that would be technically missing would be the gray door, and I wonder if we might not still see that at some point. But the red door is a fully operatable object in the place below all, and it's actually used at one point, which makes sense because not only the Red Hulk, but the Red She-Hulk also. And that's how we start the issue off with Betty Banner turning into the Red Harpy and going towards the source of this. We see that the UFOs have just killed Banner. Well, whatever. This version of the Hulk, the dumb Hulk, the child-minded Hulk, just got finished murdering him, and they're holding on the cosmic radiation over top of him. I love the idea that they're mentioning, oh, look, the biggest weakness of gamma radiation, the anti-gamma, is cosmic rays. That makes sense. It would make a lot of sense why the Hulk, who is so much stronger than the Thing is that guy who, in some ways, if anybody's going to go toe-to-toe with him, what I'm saying, it's this guy. Obviously there's the godly power of Thor, who's just, according to Stan Lee, was created to be more powerful than the Hulk, but here's the thing, he's not quite on the same level as the Hulk, and yet he still holds his own. And it's not just because of skill. Here, it's almost like they're indicating it's because of this, because he's made of cosmic rays, or was made as a result of cosmic rays. I like the little slight implications that they're giving here. I dig on that. And Ewing's always the guy who, that cosmic horror, that spacefaring kind of story, he's going to be able to inject that into all of his stories anytime he wants, because he's just so damn good at it. Again, he's the Alfred Hitchcock of the Cthulhu world, the Cthulhu mythos, That's just the way that he is. He's just got this incredible approach to it, and I love it. Anyway, excuse me. Also kind of explains a lot with the Silver Surfer, even though that's the power cosmic, not cosmic power, different. There's so much to think about when you look at these stories, when you look at anything that Al Ewing does, for crying out loud. He might be the most important person at Marvel right now. He genuinely might be. Honestly, I'd probably put him at the same level that Grunwald was when Grunwald was alive. Wow. Anyway, enough of the reflectful, thoughtful stuff. This middle page, it's not even the middle page, but like this double page spread of just two lousy panels and all this wasted space here, right? But all it does is really focus on the horror of what we're seeing here. The leader merged with the one below all. It's great because he still has a sense of who he is. He still has that sense about him. And you can notice the red in his eyes, the red in his voice, right? So much of that, I wonder if that's meant to be, the red in the background. I wonder if so much of that is actually what it's meant to be. When you look at the horrors of what happened, just look at his hands. Look at that. Look at his hands. And tell me honestly, Doesn't that just remind you of the Abomination? So, in many ways, is the Abomination, and is not the Red Hulk aspect, this gamma-absorbing creature, the Red Hulk, is this not in many ways a reflection of the One Below All? Is that kind of where a lot of this is being drawn from and put into continuity's sake, instead of just, oh, you know what, let's just make a Hulk that's red. Yeah. And then people wonder who he is. Anybody, and no disrespect to, the whole story that Greg Pak, all this, really good stuff. All right? Really good stuff. But why a Red Hulk? Leave it to Al Ewing to say, I think I could piece all this stuff together. Yeah, definitely the Mark Gruenwald of the modern era. My God, man, this guy is just amazing. So the green door flips and becomes red. They can't get through it, right? A Red Hulk could get through there, but a Green Hulk can't get through a red door. And I imagine that a Red Hulk couldn't get through a green door either. I imagine, I don't know. We're going to flip over to two young men, Shaman over here. I love any little thing that you can do with mysticism. The idea that I need to see through your eyes. You have a way of seeing. You can see into the astral plane. But more specifically, what's her name? Don't get me angry, Mr. Oh, crap, I can't remember. Doesn't say on here. Oh, what the hell is her name? Miss McGee. There we go. Don't get me angry, Mr. McGee. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I love the idea that he's doing this behind, from behind her, so that she's seeing through his fingers like this, and now he's able to see through her eyes like that. I love that little, just little things like that. It's amazing. It's like, I need to see through your eyes. I need to see what you can see, how you see. I love that. And of course, they're seeing the little, what is he called? The fauna of, or the flora. He says the flora? He says it right? Look, the fauna. Okay, he does say the fauna. Okay, cool. So, this, of course, comes from the flora and fauna. The flora being the plant life and the fauna being the animal life. So he sees the fauna. So it's almost like it's just random animals walking around, right? All these little gamma ghosts just kind of prancing along and whatnot. The wild hunt almost. I love these little aspects that they're bringing into this, but they're also trying to understand this conglomeration of Rick Jones and this beast that's out there, because Shaman has to find a way to separate these. Guys, anytime that you take amazing characters like Alpha Flight and you put them in a great story where they can be explained, we're just one step closer to an Alpha Flight book. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Ewing, because a lot of the Canadian writers can keep on writing what they're going to write, and just like, I would love to write an Alpha Flight book. Yeah, but is the Alpha Flight book going to last even to 12 issues? Is it going to make it to 6 or 8, which is the standard for a book that's just not going to sell? Because then every time that somebody does that, every single time that somebody takes this book or these characters and tries to put them in a book that Marvel doesn't think is going to sell, and then you put them in a book, and then we look at it, we're like, I want to support Alpha Flight, but I don't want to support this because it's just not good. It's that much harder for somebody else to come along and say, I'd like to do an Alpha Flight book, right? So, there's that. If Byrne ever came back, if John Byrne ever came back and said, hey guys, Marvel, I'd like to come back and do a book for you guys. I like to do the art and the writing and all that stuff, but the only book I want to do is Alpha Flight. You going to tell me that in a heartbeat? Marvel wouldn't jump on that? Because they would. Let there be no doubt that it's exactly what would happen. And yet, all these other writers, they can't even come close to it. It's a shame, but it's necessary. I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear, but it's necessary. Because if that book gets canceled, by some other writer, it's not going to be good. But if there's anybody that I trust to do an incredible Alpha Flight story where you're just focused on these members of the Alpha Flight, boom, it's Ewing. Oh, do it, baby. Whew. Almost sounded like Digital Underground there, right? Come on, do it, baby. Do the Humpty Hump. Anyway, Tupac. Um, what do you call it? Uh, Samson in this, being this absolute pimp daddy, this new version of dude, like what the hell is happening with Doc Samson? What the hell? Because he's still in the body of the green Sasquatch, the green squash. Oh my God, could you imagine the green squash? The white stuff is weird enough as it is. Anyway, so I'm wondering what the hell this is. And of course, we're going to have to see this at some point. I'm not going to show you anything else in the book because we returned back to a lot of the stuff here. But here's where things start to get a little bit wicked. I'm going to get into spoilers now. So if you haven't read this comic book, you're going to want to read this comic book. I can assure you. If you're even slightly on the fence with this, do me a favor. Get your sledgehammer, smash that damn fence, and walk on the side that says, I am buying the hell out of this book, because that's where you belong. I'm going to get into spoilers now. You should have left. Okay, here we go. So here comes the image, and this is the final image I'm going to show you guys. Whoop. Yeah. While all of this stuff is going on, Banner, the puny, this is Banner, right? He had the things in his eyes. This is puny Hulk. The only other person here is Joe Fixit, and he starts turning red. I saw red, or seeing red again. I don't care if it's Warner or Chevron, but either way, Chevron, was that what they were called? Chevron? Anyway, that was a gas station. Seeing Joe Fixit, getting that red glow in his eyes, it's a little weird. You see, I haven't talked to Ewing about this specifically because I only had 15 minutes to talk with him, that interview that I did with him a while ago. But actually, geez, that would have been almost 2 years ago now. That was right before COVID hit and destroyed Fan Expo Toronto, or whatever the hell that's called, Fan Expo Canada, and then there's the Toronto Comic Con. I was supposed to not host it, but I was supposed to be able to hang out with him and interview him again and all that good stuff. Anyway, damn it, that sucks. Man, what a great time that would have been. Anyway, so we get to see him Hulk out, but really quick, Ewing doesn't like the idea of the Gray Hulk. He says, it's always been my least favorite version of the Hulk. Well, that's a shame, because turns out there's a lot of us who are madly in love with the idea of the Gray Hulk. In this particular case, he seems to turn him red. Says, oh my God, the Red Hulk, the puny Hulk. He's like, Red Hulk? He's like, something like that. Now, he's red when he's in the place below all, because that's how he's got to escape, right? But when he comes out, I'm not going to show you the image because you got to see the image yourself and you define it for yourself. Here's this version of the Hulk he looks gray, except for, the veins that are coursing through him, which is odd. Honestly, this guy going against the UFOs, listen, if he's the Red Hulk, he's going to walk right through these sons of guns, because the primary principle of the Gray Hulk, of the Red Hulk, is that, hey man, I absorb all energies. All. I can absorb the energy from the freaking, from the Silver Surfer, because we've seen that before, right? I can absorb gamma, I can absorb whatever you want. That's a little bit too OP when you're talking about the particular characters in question here, which just, it is what it is. But I'd rather it actually be a knockdown, drag-out fight where Joe Fixit as the Gray Hulk, even if it's a slightly more powerful Gray Hulk, whatever, just as the Gray Hulk going at it with these guys. I would love to see that. That would just be an amazing... So I'm really hoping that's what we get to see here, because holy crap. Anyway, guys, this comic book, man, as should be expected, typical. Ewing, Bennett, Bellardino Bravo, Paul Mounts, right? Everybody involved in this. Freaking amazing. Absolutely freaking amazing. And Roy Jose. All these guys, man. This is an absolutely fantastic book. We've only got 5 more issues before this ends. I'm hoping that at some point, and I expect that Ewing may return to this with a couple little one-shots here and there, hey, just like everybody else is doing the little one-shots here and there, like the Joe Fixit at Christmas time and things like that. I expect Ewing to maybe drop in and do a couple extra here and there. And of course, reading Ewing's books at some point, I'm sure that the Immortal Hulk will show up, right? Just little things like that. And just like, oh my God, technically, this is Ewing doing the Immortal Hulk again in this, I don't know, whatever other book he's going to be doing, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Make him a Guardians of the Galaxy member if you got to. I don't care. I just want to see more of this. This amazing story, this amazing use of the character, this understanding of the character, because it's freaking fantastic. Guys, that's going to be it from me. Like the video, watch an ad, and look out for those final issues because holy crap, Daddy, they're amazing. Talk to y'all later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.